Hello, today, once again, we are here with the Angel City Jazz Festival. My name is Leroy Downs, curator of the Just Jazz series here in Los Angeles. But Angel City Jazz, that has been around for over a decade here in Los Angeles. Rocco Somazi always bringing the most creative and prolific musicians to us so that we can see, so that we can experience. As you see right next to me, I have three gentlemen there. One of them is Benny Maupin. The other one is Adam Rudolph. And in the middle is Mr. Yusef Lateef. And here with me today, a cat that's just played with Yusef, probably knows him like his own blood. And that's the one and only Adam Rudolph. What's going on, sir?
Hey, well, it's a pleasure to be here. And I have to say, I've been hearing nothing but wonderful things about the series, the presentations you're doing in Los Angeles. The word has come out here.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Well, for over a decade, man, Angel City Jazz has been just really on top of it and bringing some prolific music to Los Angeles. And this year is the pandemic. We've got to do it virtually. So we're going to have a virtual experience. But you're going to be here together with Benny Maupin, somebody that I know that you've created music with together in the Go Organic Orchestra. And just one of the beautiful brothers that we love, man, Mr. Yusef Lateef, man. Tell me a little bit about this tribute.
Well, of course, anytime I have an opportunity to say something or present something in relation to Brother Yusef, it's an honor and a pleasure. This music, some people call it jazz, some people call it creative music, African-American improvisational music, whatever you call it. The fact of the matter is that it's an oral tradition, and of course it's moved into schools now, but the origin and the development of it and the amazingly fast evolution, of it. I mean, unlike anything on the planet, really, in a way. I mean, you think about Louis Armstrong and then to Miles, the way the music has evolved, it's incredible. And one of the people whose lifetime really spanned that was Brother Yusef Lateef. He was born in 1920, and this is going to be his 100th, his centennial. Yusef is so he was my mentor. Speaking of the oral tradition, I had other important mentors who sometime we'll speak about, but I met Brother Yusef in 1988. The very first concert we did together, I met him at the rehearsal for the concert where he had asked myself and the Eternal Wind group to perform with him and Cecil McBee. His first concert since returning from living in Nigeria for 4 years. And one of the things that kind of indicated something about Yusef was, first of all, I remember going downstairs. I was living in Don Cherry's loft at the time. And I went downstairs to maybe take out the trash or something. Rehearsal was starting at 1 o'clock, right? And Yusef was downstairs in his car, at like 1:45, ready, on time. That's something he was always like that. But the more important thing was he actually asked me to compose some music for the concert. And I thought, what kind of a courageous thing. And we had never met, right? He had heard Eternal Wind's records, but it was kind of like a courageous thing, and what a generous thing also, So that really set the tone, and this arc of 25 years where it became, I was involved with my projects, but whenever Yusef called, I was ready to work with him. It was always an adventure. He always set out with every concert and every recording. I did over 20 recordings with him to try something new. So it was always an adventure. And then it evolved into really like a family feeling where the last decade or more, we talk pretty much once a week. And so it really became just like a father figure to me, and that kind of, love between our families and so on and so forth.
Well, I always recognize Yusef as, man, he's in touch with the spirit. He's in touch with nature. I always see him explaining, hey, stop take your time and look at the trees and watch the way that the leaves blow, and all that type of slowing down, and this 360 sphere that keeps moving so fast every day, every year is going by so fast. He seems to have the ability to stop time and take those real elements that we need to enjoy throughout our lives and incorporate that into the music.
Man, that's so beautiful and well put, because Yusuf, I would say that he was a one of the most realized beings I've ever met.
Mm,
Uh, we read about him, and that's not talking about perfection, but it's talking about well along the path of a radiance and an insight into how to live. I'll put it another way. The way I like to think about it now is, we go from, you can be a professional musician where, okay, you perform, you get paid. Then there's the idea of playing music, which revolves around love and learning of it, right? It has nothing to do with profession. Then there's the high level, and this is where Yusuf was, where you become music,
mm,
right? And being music, what does that mean? That means being in harmony with your fellow human beings. It means being in tune with nature, as you were describing. It means being in harmony, you're being in rhythm. Your body, when your body is in rhythm, that means you're in good health physically and mentally, right? And spiritually. So all of those things. And Yusuf was, yeah, man, it was just incredible to be around him. And most people kind of recognize that radiance, about him. And to sort of catch him, even that last 25 years of his life, the last time I saw Brother Yusuf, I went to visit him at home 2 days before he passed. I brought my Sintir and played some music for him. He was kind of out, but his fingers were moving. And in that whole period, he revealed so much about, yeah, the connection of what you're speaking about, nature and being in tune with nature and in resonance with nature, and how that really reflects your inner nature,
mm.
and then again how that manifests in the expression of what you do creatively.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so such an important person, and it's so beautiful to hear you kind of that those who get it.
Yeah. Well, I see, or I used to see the way that he moves and the way that he speaks, it's always with intention. And when someone has that kind of intention, I automatically know, hey, stop everything you're doing, listen to what this guy is saying, listen to the way he walks, and I
Right.
started kind of noticing all of those things too. So I was able to take the music in that way, and hopefully everyone else did that too.
Well, that's really interesting what you're saying about intentionality in relation to what you speak and move. But it's also like, right, if your hand strikes a drum, right? And Yusuf had that connection. I'll tell a very quick story. I don't know how long this is going to be, but anyway, I went to hear him. They did a night of Detroit at the Lincoln Center, the Rose Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into why they didn't give him his own night and ask him what he wanted to do, but never mind that. But he was part of it with Ron Carter and a bunch of cats. Anyway, he invited me. I was listening, and They were playing a piece with the big band. And I think Winton even was playing, and he was, Winton, impeccable, beautiful playing. And then it came to Yusuf. He picked up this bamboo flute. The place was packed, right? He picked up a bamboo flute. He played one note,
Ooh.
and he brought the magic into the room. You could feel the energy in that room transform itself, like doom. That's something, that kind of intentionality where you know the right note and the right time and the right place and the right intentionality, and to be that in tune with the universe like that way, to bring magic, the tata, the lifting to everybody. It was a deep experience.
Well, that's harmony, man. And let's talk
Yeah.
about what's happening on October 9th, man. You're pairing up with Benny Maupin, and you guys are coming together and gonna pay tribute to, this wonderful man that was a mentor for both of you. You spent time together with Yusef, you spent time together with Benny, and now I'm just wondering how and what the intention is of what you're presenting on October 9th at the Angel City Jazz Festival.
Thank you. That's actually a great question because what is the intention? So the intention is Benny and I spoke about it. We want to respect the spirit and creative attitude that Yusuf had, right? And like I said earlier, every recording he did, every project he did, he said, I want to do something I've never done before. So that precludes automatically, we're not looking back and trying to recreate anything about what Yusuf did, but we're trying to really respect the spirit of what he's doing and do something fresh and new. And of course, it's in the process of creating it, we're tuning into his vibration, that feeling of it. But it's very important, I think, for both of us to honor his attitude. Yusuf used to say to me, he said, well, Brother Adam, we're evolutionists,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And Benny is in that spirit. And of course, he's the next generation following Yusuf from Detroit. And then, of course, it was beautiful when we did the Go Organic Orchestra with Yusuf in 2003. Benny was there, and also Ralph Jones was there, who was the next generation after that. So it's lineage of these incredible woodwind players from Detroit. Now, maybe you know this, I'm not coming to Los Angeles, right? One of the things Yusuf did when I performed duets with him, the last 10 years we performed together, it was mostly duets.
mm,
And he would create with some of his associates and students at University of Massachusetts these electronic, not they weren't they were soundscapes. A lot of them had samples that I had made for him and different sounds he did. And there would be a point in the concert where he would cue the sound person and these sounds would start. So, and in fact, he even used one of those when he and I played when he received the Jazz Masters Award at Lincoln Center that time. That's another story for another time. Just wanted to give a shout out to Rocco and when he invited me to come out, it's not really make sense to fly right now. So I proposed to him that I would create a electroacoustic soundscape for Benny to dialogue with, not unlike what I would do with Yusuf in time. But of course, this would be new. And so that's what I did. I created a 40-minute, the working title is it's a symphonic tone poem for Brother Yusuf. And it's with electronics, my percussion, loops. It's now, And so Benny is going to perform with that, which is going to be really pretty incredible. So again, what Yusuf taught me is that your creative endeavors are more than just playing your instrument, right? So I can create anything that can be a vehicle for your creative expression is valid because, as we know, Brother Yusuf, of course, he did many orchestral pieces, electronic music, painted, wrote novels, these things. So for me too, there's like the limit, Sun Ra said space is the place. There's no limit. So here we have Benny Maupin, who of course, an iconic and historic and creative in that cloth of creative, adventurous, forward-seeking individuals. And he's also played with the Organic Orchestra consistently. So this is a new way for us to dialogue together.
Yeah. Well, a beautiful thing, man. Appreciate you and really looking forward to that performance. That's October 9th at the Angel City Jazz Festival. We're not getting together in person to feel this music like we used to, but we're going to do it virtually, and you can check it out online at angelcityjazz.com. Thanks so much, Brother Adam Rudolph, for spending some time with us today, man. We really appreciate you and look forward to your creations, man.